most visited state for the candidates this election season. We're talking about Pennsylvania, emerging as one of the most hotly contested battlegrounds. The Pittsburgh Post-Gazette endorsed President Trump yesterday, marking the first time the paper has backed a Republican since 1972 when it comes to the presidency. This is Joe Biden will be joined on stage by Lady Gaga when he campaigns in Pittsburgh today. So what does this say about the must-win state of Pennsylvania? Let's talk to our panel. Rachel Bovard from the Conservative Partnership Institute, along with Army veteran and Yale Law School student Jeremy Hunt, and media reporter for The Hill, Joe Concha. Good morning to everybody.
Good morning.
All right, let's start with you, Rachel. So the president got that great endorsement from the Pittsburgh newspaper. Now Joe Biden and Jill Biden are going to show up with Lady Gaga, who, according to the Trump campaign, is an anti-fracker. So what message does that send to the people of Western Pennsylvania?
Well, nothing compels rural voters like seeing someone who has absolutely nothing in common with them, not just in her political views, but in her attempts to pander. Lady Gaga most recently put out a super cringe Instagram video in which she's dressed in camo, drinking a beer, apparently because that's what she thinks compels rural American voters. I would note she ended up throwing a full beer on the ground, which I think offended more people than she would think otherwise. But look, this is a last-minute attempt to sway the voters that I don't think is going to work.
All right, Jeremy, what do you make of what's going on in Pennsylvania between the two campaigns?
Like, it makes you just think, like, who is advising Joe Biden? Like, who actually, if someone is getting paid handsomely to give quite possibly the most out-of-touch political advice that we've seen in this year so far, and it makes you think, like, just talk to a voter on the ground. Like, what do you want to talk about? I am sure that many voters want to talk about the issues. They don't want to get lectured from Lady Gaga.
Well, Joe Concha, you know, a lot on the political left love these celebrity endorsements, and she's a very big star. But at the same time, the question becomes, what is more important, driving the vote, or perhaps having somebody realize, oh, wait a minute, she's anti-fracking, which, according to the campaign, she is.
Yeah, she signed off on Yoko Ono's anti-fracking group a couple of years ago. And let's be clear, Lady Gaga was infinitely better in A Star is Born than Streisand. I just want to get that part out of the way. But look, the bottom line is that Pennsylvania... Well, hey, look, it's all subjective, right? Pennsylvania obviously is the most crucial state. Forget the national polls. Ask the 2016 Democratic nominee who won by more than 3 million votes. What did that get her? It got her one-way ticket back to Chappaqua and Chardonnay, right? So it comes down to basically, as I see it in terms of the trends and the averages, 4 states: Florida, North Carolina, Arizona, and then Pennsylvania or Michigan. If the president captures any of those 4 states, all 4 of those, I should say, Florida, North Carolina, Arizona, Pennsylvania, then he wins the election. Everything else does not matter. But again, if you're going to start campaigning with somebody who is against fracking one day before an election in a state you must win, to the point made earlier, who's advising the current Democratic nominee right now?
All right, lightning round predictions. Rachel, we'll start with you. What happens tomorrow?
Well, I think we've talked about a record number of votes being cast. I don't think we're going to know instantly, but this race is very much still in play. Pennsylvania is up for grabs. It's a jump ball.
All right, Jeremy.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to know exactly tomorrow exactly what the election is going to look like, but we will have at least some a feeling of what might happen maybe later on this week as the votes roll in.
And finally, you, Joseph.
November is going to be a long decade, Steve. We're not going to know who won this election for probably a long time. Remember, Michigan and Wisconsin are not even going to start counting the mail-in ballots until Election Day. So the question is, in Pennsylvania, the president does have the momentum, but is it too little too late given all the votes that were already cast before Mr. Biden made his comments on fracking, Steve?
It looks as if Election Day is going to be so 2020 as 2020 has gone so far. Rachel and Jeremy and Joe, we thank you very much for joining us live.